Your boss isn't judging the data on the screen, but definitely judging you as to how you explain it. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Anjalisharma. I'm the founder of Narrative, the Business of Stories, a story practice that has helped for more than a decade now brands like Google, LinkedIn, Microsoft, and many more. My purpose is super simple, that I help you tell the right story and succeed in your corporate career. I'm also the author of a bestseller, Strategic Storytelling: Why Some Stories Drive Your Success at Work and Others Don't. Now, I want to take you into a situation, a scenario. So this is a boardroom. In this boardroom, on this side is the senior leaders, senior leadership team who you are presenting data findings to. And on this side is a screen on which there is pie chart, graphs, and line graphs, and all those things you need to be able to make that presentation. In the middle of all of this is you, whose heart is thumping really hard because you are wondering how today will go. Now, I have used some of the data storytelling tips that have helped a lot of my clients succeed in situations like that. So I want to share those with you today. So let's get started by understanding what in that particular situation we need to first remember, which was shared by the author of Storytelling with Data, Cole Knaflic. So Cole Knaflic said that you and I, when we went to school, we learned languages like Hindi, English, Spanish, Bengali to be able to tell stories. And numbers were largely a function of operations. So we would do multiplication and we would do division and we'll problem solve the numbers. But we never told stories about numbers. Now at work, no matter what function you come from, you have to tell stories about numbers, but you're not trained to tell that. Right? We're not trained to tell stories about numbers. So that is a skill that you need to develop. So I'm going to give you 5 tips that have helped a lot of my clients and helped me ace the presentations in front of the bosses. The number 1 tip: use therefore to sound like a problem solver. The word therefore is something you need to become obsessed with. A typical data storytelling presentation. The storyteller starts. So as you can see, in the third quarter, the numbers go down and we can see something strange happens here. And then let's look at what happened in the month of June. And the bosses who are seated there are thinking, so what? So what? So what? Now you are so engrossed in sharing the problem that you have identified because it took you a long time to get there. So you feel very attached to it and you think it's an amazing finding and you want the bosses to know. But bosses don't care about problem finding. What they care about is, what are we going to do? And the best way to remember to pivot to that really quickly is to become obsessed with using the word therefore. So as you can see that the revenue dipped by 4% in this quarter, therefore we need to look at the product pricing for product A. So they're interested in therefore, become obsessed with using therefore. Let's move to tip number 2. You want to prevent interruptions by sharing the options you abandoned, the solutions you abandoned and did not choose to present. Let me explain. Say you work at an airport and you look at the data and you find out that there are lots and lots of passenger complaints on rainy days when they have to walk from the airport, the holding area, to the aeroplane, and they get wet and there's a lot of complaints. Now, you stand up and you tell the bosses that the solution you think we should invest in is building 100% covered walkway to the craft in the situations where there is no 100% covered walkway. Not all planes access would be like that. Some would be like that. So when you're presenting that, your boss is sitting over there thinking, why can't we have more manpower with umbrellas? Why can't we have 50% coverage and save some money? Why do we need to do 100%? They're thinking about that. So your best way to present to them is, now my suggestion is to have 100% covered walkway. And you may be wondering, why not 50? Why not more manpower? Let me get to that as well. In this case, the biggest source of the problem was actually social media. People would put pictures of them getting wet, and there were a lot of staff members already with umbrellas, yet people got wet because it's not like an individual. They have bags, they have things that, they have trolleys, so things get wet. And people start putting things on social media. So the corporate storyteller had to say, we're not just trying to reduce passenger complaints by building a 100% covered walkway. we're also trying to manage our reputation on social, because even if one passenger gets wet, there's highly likely that this passenger is going to actually put a picture up or talk about it online. And that negatively affects our rating as an airport and affects our chances to become the world's #1 airport. Okay, so you talk about the ideas you abandoned and what was your rationale behind that as well. Let's move to tip number 3. State your assumptions clearly by saying this holds true if. So say, for example, you say that your forecast for future is that we will achieve 25% more revenue within the first quarter, right? Now, it is very important you actually say this holds true if no major technological disruption takes place. This holds true if no major calamity or crisis takes place. I'll tell you a short story. In 2023, we had a future prediction of a growth of 25% in the first quarter. 2024. We entered 2025. The first quarter, tariff situation takes place. The world becomes uncertain, business starts to slow down, and the senior leadership team asked us, why are we not seeing as much activity as you had mentioned based on the actions you took? We straight away went into the list of things where we'd said, this holds true if, and we were able to explain, and the management team understood what we were saying. So it is very, very important you get into the habit of building a slide which says this holds true if. Let's move to choosing the right chart, number 4. This is one of my favorites, okay? So a lot of the times we have the data and then we say, okay, let's just put it into a graph. But you have to see, what are you trying to show on the slide? Are you trying to show something that changes over time? If that's what you're trying to show, then line graphs. Are you trying to show what percentage of the whole, like out of the 100%, what percent is this? Then a pie chart. Or are you trying to measure quantity, like revenue in the particular months or number of products in a certain month sold? Then a bar graph. So choose your visuals very, very carefully. Let's come to the 5th and the last one. Very simple, but very, very effective. If you have a slide, say for example with a bar graph, you have a slide with a bar graph. The 2 things that you'll put on top are these. Number 1, observation, slightly make the font bigger. Then number 2, right below it, in a slightly smaller font, chart title. Okay, so observation is, what is it that you're observing in this bar graph? But chart title is, what is this chart about? So it could be 2025 product sales in the 12 months is the title. Like you're actually seeing how many products actually sold over the 12 months. But the observation could be the month of November saw maximum number of product sales. So observation first and then the chart title. So let's do a quick revision of what I just covered here. 5 things. Number 1, become obsessed with using therefore, because then you're not just problem identifier, you're also problem solver. Number 2, to prevent interruptions, also talk about the ideas you abandoned. Number 3, state your assumptions carefully when talking about the future. This holds true if. And the number 4, choose the right chart, showing change over time, line graph, showing quantity, bar graph, and a part of the 100%, then a pie. And then finally, if you have the bar graph, 2 things, bigger observation, slightly smaller title. Title is, what is this about? Observation is, what is it that you can see in this graph? If you liked what you heard, subscribe with the button below, because that way you let me know that I can keep bringing these tips to you. A lot of the tips that I shared today were inspired from this brilliant book by Nancy Duarte called Data Story. Please go ahead and read it. It's helped me a lot and I'm sure it'll help you too. Stay storied and I'll see you here for the next one.